G'day punters, welcome to Victims of the Punt. We're out of the championships, we're out of the good races in Sydney, but we've still got a few winners that we can find. Mark Shean and Mark Rhoden are here to help me find some of those. Mark Shean, I'll start with yourself. Just taking a quick look at the meeting, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, we've got an interesting rail position. We're out to 11 metres. We've been out to 11 and 12 about 3 times in the last 18 months or maybe a bit longer. Look, it's been hard to make ground recently, but I think this might be a good rail placement. 2 of those 3 meetings have been inside off, and one of them was a heavy track and it was outside rail was the place to be. So hoping it's a little bit more fair than it has been in the last couple of weeks. Canterbury was diabolical on Wednesday and hard to make ground last week as well. So hopefully it's a little bit fairer.
Yeah, that's all we can do is hope, I think, at this stage. Mark Rhoden, we've obviously lost a lot of the good horses, so to speak, but do you have any thoughts with the rail in this position?
Yeah, I had a look at the 2 meetings in the in 2021 that were run in this kind of position. There were 19 races over the 2 meetings, and 9 winners came from 15 running or worse, which is just a little sign that they might be able to make ground. Running line probably the best spot rather than fence or 3 deep or wider. Look, I think it's going to be pretty wet again. They've given out a 619 Penno, which is actually considerably higher than last week when it was quite wet and quite testing anyway. So I think, just the extra rain they got yesterday or last night, whenever it was, has just tipped it back into. It's going to effectively be a 10 again, I think, no matter what happens from here on in.
We're going to focus on the Quaddie Leagues. So we'll start with race 7. It's a benchmark 94 over 1,100 metres. And Andermatt is $1.60. You've got Dragonstone at $7.50, best available Friday morning. Mariamia is $8.50, and then Lord Olympus out to $11. It's Me, the one is out of this field. Mark Shean, any interest here with the favourite?
Oh, look, if he repeats that last run, he probably wins. He has been gelded this preparation. In the past, he's been very good fresh. He's won, I think, first up every preparation. And then he's put in 1 good run second up at Rose Hill where he ran second to Anders. But apart from that, normally his second up run's been a bit iffy. But he did parade really well at Canterbury the other day, and maybe the gelding has turned him around. I don't know if he'd be rushing to take $1.60, but I think if you did repeat that performance, it'd be pretty hard to beat. Dragonstone meets him considerably better at the weights and finished 6 lengths behind him there, but that does look the form, in my opinion. They did run very good sectional times, considering what happened through the day there, and away from that, I'm struggling to find something to back.
Mark Rhoden, do you have any interest here?
No, I couldn't take $1.60, but to be honest, in my market, the second pick I've got marked double figure odds, so you're casting very wide to try and get him beaten. Probably right spot at Canterbury, but it was a very impressive win. His last 100 was fantastic. He really attacked the line, and if he does turn up in that sort of order again, it is very hard to see him beaten. But look, on my figures, that was a career peak run. I know there were extenuating circumstances, extremely wet track, and also the track pattern. But just taking $1.60 horses that are coming off a career peak isn't my go. Never has been and never will be. But that said, I think it's, you're pretty optimistic if you're trying to get him beaten as well. So either, I don't know. I'm just staying out.
Okay. Race 8 on the card is a benchmark 78 over the mile, and Spanish Point, the 4, and Sindicato has just come out the 12. So Diamel is favourite at $2.40 from Les Chablis, which is going up there to Randwick at $4.20. Phillipsburg $9, Majorati $11, Tampering and Bethencourt at $12. Mark Shean, your thoughts here in race 8?
Yeah, look, there doesn't look to be many chances. This favourite was impressive winning. He was very soft first up at Canterbury and suitable distance. That was a meeting where they switched the races and shortened the race. So first up, he was an unsuitable trip. He then stepped up to a mile, and he just played with them there the other day. I think 3 winners have come out of that race since. From the Bush 1, Main Stage 1. So form's been pretty franked, and just looking at him, he looked like he'd probably still improve, still had improvement under his belt. Le Chevalier's a good wet tracker, hard to knock her. She's raced well at Randwick on the heavy in the past, and Phillipsburg's the other one who does like the wet, but I think he might be going places, Diamond.
Okay. Your thoughts here, Mark Rhoden?
Yeah, his first up run was fantastic. Then he, as good again, winning second up. I said after that he's certainly way better than midweek class. He's probably winter listed level at least. I think, and I think this will just be a stepping stone on the way for him. What's he into now? 240ish. Yeah, that's probably a bet. It's probably a bet, and I think Le Chevalier is really the only danger. To be honest, they're the only two I've got in single figure odds. And I think I'll just back Diamond. I've got a little bit of an opinion of him. Dependent on, he's drawn the outside gate, assuming that's not a problem, and we don't think it will be, or not as much as it has been. He's probably near a good thing again.
All right, that's a decent enough push there in race 8 for the favourite. Race 9 on the card is a benchmark 88 over 1,300 metres. There's quite a few scratchings, 1, 8, 9, 12 and 13, which leaves O President narrow favourite at $3.60 from Taxu at $3.80. Rustic Steel you can get $4. Kinlock is $5. Then you're out to Zing at $10. Mark Shean, any order here for the almost 3 joint favourites?
Yeah, and Kinlock there is in at Tamworth today, so more than likely, obviously will be scratched if it's running at Tamworth, so there will be a bit of percentage come out as well. Look, there wasn't a lot between 3 of these at Newcastle last time they clashed, President Taxu and Rustic Steel. Rustic Steel did go to pieces before the race on that occasion. He paraded much better at Randwick the other day, loomed up to win but didn't go right on with it. Look, I'm going with Taxu here just because no leaders won at Newcastle that day. And he drew inside of a President where he's able to maybe come across from the wide alley and take up the running here. Look, there's not a lot between the 3 of them. But I think that just these heavy bog conditions might suit Taxu a little bit better. It probably wasn't as heavy at Newcastle as it was at Rose Hill when he won. So I just think these really heavy conditions will suit him possibly a little bit better. So I'm with Taxu, not a lot between them though.
Okay. Mark Rhoden, any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a betting race for me. I've got them pretty close together. I've got the slightest of leans to Rustic Steel over Taxu, and I just slightly prefer those 2 to O President. I think he was probably best suited at Newcastle of the 3 of them. And I thought Rustic Steel was probably the least suited the way the track was playing. Although they did go, Taxu did lead at a very fast pace. His run too. And that's why I've got the 2 of them close together, and so does the betting. I mean, if I was forced to get involved in the race, I'd probably lay O President as favourite for something, but I'm not heavily plotting him by any means. I just think I slightly prefer 6 and 7 to 4, but I don't have much definition in my market and not much edges either.
Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty plain race just on the looks of things. Race 10 on the card, benchmark 78 to round it out, 1,400 metres. Favourite is Francesco Quaddie at $4.20 from Nikau Spur at $5.50. You've got $6 for Too Much Caviar, $8 for You Called It, Bethencourt $13 with different strokes at 14, Toretto at 15, sort of just meanders out from there. Mark Shean, any thoughts on the last?
Yeah, look, I like Nikau Spur here. I thought it was a great run at Canterbury the other day. Made ground from back in the field, which is hard to do at Canterbury. He does seem to handle these conditions. I think that draw will be okay by this stage of the day. He's up to 1,400 metres, which is another tick in my opinion. Francesco Quaddie doesn't have any known form in this sort of ground, and he is first up on testing ground. Did have a pretty easy trial the other day. So I'm not sure about him, whether he'd be up to the mark quite yet. He might be, but I'd rather be on something that's had a run this preparation. So 5 Nikau Spur for me. I think he'd be very hard to beat.
Okay, that's a good push there for Nikau Spur. Mark Rhoden?
I've got a pretty open. I've ended up with Francesco Quaddie on top, but not a bet, and it is guesswork on what's going to be a heavy 10, but he's by Frankel. They tend to handle it. They're pretty good stats on the ground. So, but I'm not. No, what is he? $4 or something? Yeah, no, not for me. Nikau Spur, definite danger, and I thought Too Much Caviar just always puts himself in the race, and probably at his peak now he was the other main chance. But that's almost exactly the way the market sees it. Just checking the market here. Yeah, so there's no bet for me at this stage. Look, if runners on are winning, I could make the case to lean to Nikau Spur. Beyond that, I was out to Bethencourt, who handles the wet okay, and then a bunch of them, to be honest. It's sorry to do it again, but I'm not really enthused about this one either.
It does really appeal as one of those meetings that has no appeal. So with that in mind, I'll try and get to your best players on this card. Mark Shean, I'll start with yourself.
Yeah, well, it's just a fill-in meeting before Hawkesbury and Scone, really, isn't it? So it's, look, I think Nick Alsper would be hard to beat in the last, but, look, it's not a day to be getting too involved, I wouldn't think. I think, as I said, I think Nick Alsper, Elias in race number 4 looks pretty hard to beat as well. But hopefully the track's a bit fairer than it has been of late.
Yeah, for sure. Mark Rhoden?
I've got a few I'm interested in, but the rain yesterday just knocking the track back to a genuine, really heavies just slowed me up a bit. I think I'm going to back Diamil. I won't do anything there yet, though, I think. I wanted to back Key Royale, but I wouldn't be surprised if they scratched it now. I thought the track might be on the improve, but if it's going to be really, really wet, I don't think I'd want to be on him. I gave Mr. G a chance against Elias just on the grounds that Elias got a really fast pace that day. I think he's certainly got something, but this looks pretty slow to me, and I thought if Mr. G's ridden with a bit of initiative, he might give a side at a bigger price. And the 2-year-old's an interesting race. It's Canterbury form, but Zoo Gotcha and Zoo Tiger, you can make cases for both. Zoo Gotcha, great time. The race was put on for him, to be honest, by Zoo Tiger. I don't think there'll be 3 lengths between them again, but I think Zoo Gotcha's got something, and I'll back him and maybe save on Zoo Tiger. But, I'm going to have to wait and see to some extent.
Really stands out, those 2 runners in the first race. It's just a case of, do you trust that one start on the Canterbury heavy and going towards Randwick? So
it's a lot of people who've done, who follow Sydney form are untrustworthy of Canterbury form coming to other tracks, but figures-wise, that was super impressive on my stuff, and I think I'm going to have to play it.
Looked a nice filly in the yard too.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Right.
And Willinger Beast had a similar looking profile, so
exactly.
to speak. Yeah.
And then came out and played, yeah.
All right, very good. Thank you very much to you both. We've obviously got a busy weekend ahead with Anzac Day racing as well there at Kenzo on Monday. So all the best over the next couple of days, guys. Go well, and we'll chat soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pete.